Hi Internet, it's Kat. Welcome back to my lair. Today I want to talk about the pros and cons of the Roland digital piano that I have, the F140R. I've had this for a few months now and I've had a lot of time to play it and kind of get to know its intricacies and the good and bad. So I'd like to run through with you all of that. If you're new around here, I'd love if you hit the subscribe button and just let me know how you like your piano or why you're here, because I always like to know how people end up on my videos. So let's get started. First I want to talk about the pros, because there's so many wonderful things with this piano. Number one pro is the size. Unfortunately, I don't have room in my apartment to have a full-size acoustic piano. I wish I did. Sadly, I don't. It's fairly narrow, full-size keyboard, weighted keys, but it fits. It's great for smaller living and it's sleek. Which leads me to the second pro. It looks quite nice. When it's up like this, it looks good, but also you can have it down and it still blends into your living room or wherever you have it in your studio, and it is nice to look at. Another pro about this keyboard that I love is that it automatically shuts off after a couple minutes if you don't touch it. So if you forget to leave it on, you're not using up electricity or resources to have it just sitting there on, it turns off itself, which is great. Another pro is the Bluetooth connectivity. You can use it for page turning apps and all sorts of stuff like that. If you're doing a piece that uses music, you can connect it to the piano, and that's really cool. I had never heard of that before with a digital piano. Another pro that I love is the piano sounds in here are gorgeous. They're very beautiful, very realistic, and there's quite a few to choose from. There's also some really nice kind of rotary speaker sounding organ sounds that I really, really like. And there's a number of other things in here too. So now let's talk about the cons. There are not that many, but there are some that you may want to take into consideration when you are buying this keyboard. These are things that aren't deal breakers for me, but to some people they might be. Firstly, something that kind of bothers me is that there's no flat space on the keyboard when this is up. And there's no way to not have this up here because it's the connected cover. So unfortunately you can't have like a cup of tea or a candle or anything like that on here because there's no flat space for it. I understand there's a reason for this because you put your music and stuff, but as someone who doesn't often use sheet music, I would rather have a place to put a notebook or a cup of tea. Another con that I've noticed is that it does rattle a little bit when you're playing certain notes. The bassy frequencies tend to rattle this. So it does kind of get annoying if you're sitting here because it tends to make this little bit of a rattling noise. It's not a huge deal, but it's just certain sounds, it tends to bring it out more, and it's just something I've noticed. Another con that you might be curious about is I noticed that the pedals, the sustain pedal works really well. The other two pedals don't seem to do anything, so I wonder why they're even there. I don't know if it's just an aesthetic thing to have them look like a regular piano with the three pedals, but I find it kind of strange they don't do anything. They don't soften or dampen or add the practice pad that the middle one usually would, but the sustain pedal works beautifully. I love the sustain pedal. But it seems like the other two are just kind of there for no reason. And the only other con that I can think of, other than maybe it gets a little dusty because it's white, you tend to see the dust, but that's not really a con. The other one I can think of is that you can do a split function on here, but you can't seem to really choose much more than a bassy drum thing and your secondary choice of sound. It doesn't seem to let me do like an organ and a piano or a piano and a tinkly synth or anything. I'm digging into it to see if there's any workaround, but right now I can't seem to find anything other than when you split it, it is this. So you have your choice, but then it's always this jazzy thing, which is not really my cup of tea. I mean, it's fun to play around with, but... So those are the pros and cons, in my opinion, of the Roland F140R. In my opinion, the pros definitely outweigh the cons, and I'm definitely keeping this around. I think it's a great addition to my studio, great addition to my house, and I love it. And it fits so well in an apartment size, and it just brings me a lot of joy because it does sound very realistic. The cons, they're small, but there's something to consider when you're purchasing this. Because it is an investment, it's not cheap, and it's something that you want to enjoy for a really long period of time. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't, please subscribe down below. I would love that. And leave a comment if you're looking into this or whether or not you have one and what your experiences are. And you can check out all the links I have down below if you're curious about anything that I've used in the past or in other videos. Have a great day. Hope to see you soon. And as always, stay cool, cooler than me.